And the specialized media, the Financial Times, the Wall Street Journal, the Economist, the New York Times, who always said, it's just great, continue investing in Argentina. I'm not saying that the media should pay for the debt, but they should at least bear the political costs. Same with the rating agencies. And the lending banks should have a part of their responsibility, because until 2001, 2002, for example, they told investors to invest in Argentinian bonds because they were great. And they weren't. We went into default in 2001. So there is professional malpractice on the part of the banks. There are errors and omissions on the part of the banks. There is directors and officers liability on the part of the banks regarding Argentina's foreign debt. And they, as bankers, and their insurance and reinsurance companies should pay the price, or at least a part of it. I'll give you just one example. Nicholas Brady in 1992 introduced the so-called Brady bonds, whereby a debt that was clearly identified with 25 banks became atomized. It became anonymous. It just became bonds, Brady bonds they were called, in the hands of 2.5, 3, 4 million people. And he did that together with his cronies in the Argentinian government, amongst them a guy by the name of Daniel Marx. And what did Daniel Marx do after he left government? He set up a consultancy together with Nicholas Brady. They were very good friends. So you see, Argentina today lies vanquished under a giant behemoth of public debt which will not let us get on our feet. We toil, the Argentinians, we sweat and work for the bankers. Our governments are always governments of the bankers, by the bankers, for the bankers. And it is time that we, the people of Argentina, got back on our feet and threw these people out, kicking them you know where, and getting national sovereignty back in place. That's the situation, the plight of Argentina. But if you look at Peru, Ecuador, Brazil, Uruguay, Mexico, Bolivia, the United States, the United Kingdom, Poland, Russia, Hungary, Romania, you will find variations of the same model. Debt is used to control entire nations and continents. It's a system. It's called usury. And usury is not a quantitative problem, but a qualitative problem. The goal and purpose of usury is to get something else, not the actual money back. They don't want the money back of the debt. They want to use the debt as an excuse to control, to get natural resources out, to get geopolitical advantage. They can destroy entire nations in continents like Argentina because of debt. This is part of group psychology, and common wisdom in a way goes way, way, way back. In 1597, 413 years ago, William Shakespeare wrote a wonderful play called The Merchant of Venice. It describes how a usurer, moneylender, Shylock, lends an honest merchant in Venice, Antonio, 3,000 ducats. And then he says, and I'll quote from Shakespeare, "Go with me to a notary. Seal me there your single bond, and if you do not repay me on such a day, in such a place, such sum, then pay me an equal pound of your fair flesh to be cut off and taken from a part of your body that pleases me." What happened later? There was a marine disaster. Antonio could not get the money and he could not pay back on time, and Shylock executed his legal, even though illegitimate, bond. And he asks Antonio to give him a pound of his flesh. When Antonio's friend Bassanio offers 6,000 ducats, 9,000 ducats, 10 times the amount, Shylock is unmoved. The miser, the usurer, the moneylender. He says, "I'll have my bond. I will not hear thee speak. I'll have my bond." The Duke of Venice tells Shylock, "A stony adversary, an inhuman wretch, incapable of pity, void and empty from any dram of mercy." And that Shylock is. But Antonio understands Shylock's mindset, and he says, "You may as well go stand upon the beach and bid the main flood to stay his usual height. You may as well question with the wolf why he hath made the ewe bleat for the lamb. You may as well forbid the mountain pines to wag their tops and make no noise when they are threatened with the gusts of heaven. You may as well do anything most hard as to seek to soften his Jewish heart." Shylock insists he will only have his bond. He wants the pound of flesh, not the money. In Act 1, Scene 3 of The Merchant of Venice, Shylock had already said of Antonio, and I quote, "I hate him, for he is a Christian, and more for that, in low simplicity, he lends out money gratis, free, and thus brings down the rate of issuance, interest, here with us in Venice. Cursed be my tribe if I forgive him. It's Shylock's mindset. In Act 2, Scene 5, he boasts to his daughter, I did dream of money bags tonight. A basic truth is staring down at us from 4 centuries, if we go back to Shakespeare, from 8, 12, no, I don't know how many centuries if we go further back. It's the collective psyche of the Sanhedrin, of the synagogue, which we can see in the faces of the Warburgs, the Rothschilds, the Greenbergs, the Shylocks, the Greenspans, the Bernankes, the Rubens, the Schiffs, the Summers, the Frenkels, the Fischers, the Feldsteins, the Soros, the Elsteins, the Lazars, the Eskenazis in Argentina, the Wolfensons, the Volkers, the Mandelsons, the Madoffs, the Barajas in Argentina, the Midlands in Argentina. The list is just too damn long and mostly coming from such a small ethnic group. Now, the answer does not lie in rounding up the bankers and putting them all in jail, although many of them should be in jail. Nor does it lie in persecuting Jews, because the small fries will get clobbered and the big fish will always get away. The answer lies in destroying the system that allows such parasites to live off the work, toil and creativity and hard work of honest people. It lies in destroying the interest-based usury banking system. It lies in forcing all parasites to work for a living, and you will see them squeal and scream, but in the end they will just have to jump ship because they do not like to be on board a ship called work. Good. Let them swim their way back to dignity, otherwise let them drown. We must destroy interest slavery. We must ensure that work is the only way of getting money in a free society. Break the backbone of the usurer, and 90% of mankind's suffering will disappear in a very short